Hey Saners, welcome back to the Sanes TV YouTube channel. A quick little impromptu video to end the week. The boys had a bit of match simulation at Moorabbin today, and Code Sports have kindly put together an article. It is behind a paywall, but luckily enough, I've got the full article here. So for those of you that are interested in what happened today at Match Sim, stay tuned. We're going to go through it. I've kind of grabbed the main points from it and summarized them just to give you the short, sharp, and concise points. The main standout from match simulation today was Matheus Phillipou. He played pretty much full-time in the midfield, showing elite ball use, strength through marking contests, and his ability to push forward. He's looking the most poised out of all of our youngsters to have that breakout season in 2025 alongside Captain Jack Steele and recruit Jack McRae, who looks to be fitting in seamlessly from what happened today. I had a friend there that sent a couple of clips as well, and Jack McRae just finds that football. There was a couple of times that he just basically walked the ball out of the centre clearance, and obviously it's match simulation. It's Saints v Saints. You're not going to go probably 100%. We all know that, but he looked like he's going to just fit in and be a real asset to us, which is exciting. Rowan Marshall sat this out, so he didn't ruck. Harry Boyd obviously rucked. We've recently signed him, and he looked pretty good, showing some really clean taps and some strong contests. Around the ground, I think is where his tank's going to be tested, because I think he was on Dodson at times from what I watched. And even Dodson was moving around the ground a lot easier and quicker than Boyd, but obviously in the contest was where Boyd excelled. But around the contest, not the immediate, but when it just got a couple of handball chains away, that's kind of when he was out of the contest. But hopefully he'll grow into that. Angus Hastie, a lot of burst from half-back with Naz, remains one of those players that if all things go well in the preseason, he's every chance of being a surprise cog in that back line. Maybe a way to have Naz and him working together if Sinclair pushes to the midfield, and then obviously Trav and Wilson working on wings as well in this match simulation. James Barrett, he was in the B side, or the weaker side, and he stood out. He's the one that I talked about yesterday in my video that I think could be a surprise player that could play a lot of games this season. He stood out defensively with his aerial prowess, his groundwork, and his clean ball use, which is really important because when you look at our backline stocks after Battle leaves, it's more intercepts. Apart from Wilkie, it's kind of just more intercepts and stop gaps. We need to start developing some genuine key defensive kids, and obviously James Barrett is absolutely that pick. As I mentioned, Darcy Wilson and Toby Travalia showed promise on the wings, with Brad Hill leveraging his experience to create scoring opportunities in the game. Boyd led the ruck. He did go up against Cooper Sharman, Max Heath, and Alex Dodson, so it wasn't just Dodson. It was a bit of a mix there. In the rehabilitation group, Alex Toru, or Toru, I know some people in the comments seem to go nuts if I mispronounce a name. He progressed steadily in recovery from stress fractures, focusing on the running drills. So it's good to see him running. Hunter Clark, Liam Henry showed some positive signs in their respective recoveries, doing laps as well. And obviously Paddy Dow, we know, and our thoughts go out to him. It's been a really tough month, and we don't know when we're going to see him again. So, our thoughts are with Paddy Dow, and hopefully the recovery is speedy and it goes well. In terms of coaching notes, Rossline rotated key players for tactical experimentation, including Steele and McRae switching teams mid-simulation. Defensive matchups mainly included Cal Wilkie on Max King and Mitch Owens, and Sinclair and Nasiah provided rebound from the backline, obviously not being your typical defenders. Hugh Boxall as well was a really solid contributor, another player that might be going under some people's radars, but could surprise again this season. I posted a reel earlier today, and it was an amazing, it was just an awesome smother, great pressure act. He looked like Jack Steele running around. If you didn't know who that was, that wasn't Jack Steele, that was Hugh Boxall. Max King looked really lively as well, taking a couple of really good clunks. I think he kicked 3 or 4. I believe Cordy was on him at times, but I know I said Cal Wilkie, but I think Cordy had a go on him as well, and King had his number pretty comfortably, kicked 3 or 4 snags. And overall, it was a really solid session. After that, they went through their sprinting. They did, I think, 75 up, 75 back, and they did that about 8 or 9 times. My friend who was there pretty much left as they were still doing it because their end session was just taking so long, and that just proves, again, I've mentioned many times, but the running and the endurance that they go through in these sessions is pretty comprehensive, and the reason why we hopefully are going to be fitter than most of the other teams in the competition. Stocker was doing laps. He wasn't out there, which was hopefully not too much of a worry. And overall, the young kids, as much as they did get experience, there were times where they did show their lack of experience. And obviously that means they're going to take time, but match simulation is as close to the real thing as they're going to get right now until February 22nd when we play Carlton at Icon, and then obviously Port Adelaide, I think early March, March 6th or something, or March 1st, I think, at RSEA. So overall match simulation was solid today, Saners. Hopefully you got a bit out of that. The main standout obviously was Mateus Phillipou, full-time mid, looking really good there. Harry Boyd holding his own, although not against Ryan Marshall, who sat this one out. Arishal Maker and James Barrett played key defensive roles and looked really solid down there. And obviously, Nasiah, Darcy, Trav, they all were very clean and did what they needed to do in the session. Hunter Clark, Liam Henry didn't go through it, but they ran laps and hopefully will return in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed. Keep an eye on Angus Hasty, another one that I think could get some consistent games this season if he continues the form that he showed today in Match Sim. So if there's any questions, saying there's any players I didn't talk about that you're curious about, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll shed some light if I have any information. And otherwise, have a great weekend. Thanks again for tuning in this week, and I'll see you next week. But until next time, take care. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.